What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, man. So Chelsea, as you see here, bro, 4-1 winners away at Villa Park. Just a very good performance from the boys today, man. I mean, Joao Pedro, Hattrick, as I predicted yesterday. I must be some type of like prophet or something, bro. I'm out here predicting people scoring hat tricks. Like, if you haven't checked that out, go ahead and check my latest video where I say I feel like Joao Pedro is going to do something special tomorrow, and I'll even clip it in this video for you guys if you really want to see that. But what an outrageous performance from him, putting his tally up now to 14 goals and 5 assists in the Premier League, bro. And you're looking at a guy that is announcing himself as one of the best strikers in the Premier League and maybe in Europe right now. So, what else could we talk about here? Cole Palmer getting on the score sheet. His performance today, a bit careless in the first half, looked a lot better in the second half, got the goal, good finish, ball came back out to him, did his cool celebration. So it's nice to see him on the score sheet, nice to see that celebration come back out again. You know, we'll see what happens. Hopefully he can continue his form and he can get back to what his best with the World Cup coming up and Chelsea trying to obtain Champions League football for next season and trying to win this season's Champions League. He needs to be at his best. But just getting into a few other tidbits of this game, man. Philip Jorgensen, I will say this, played with the ball a little too much, honestly. Got fortunate that he didn't concede a couple goals by his just his stupidity. You hear Andy Townsend in the commentary saying, "What the heck is the goalkeeper doing? Like, why would you do that?" Like, it's almost like he's trying to sabotage, you know, like the result. Like, this is why Robert Sanchez is the number one. There's no more like trial and error. Oh, he like Robert Sanchez made wasn't good against Arsenal, but that doesn't mean you drop him in this game. That's not something I would have done personally, but you know, it's to each their own. At the end of the day, I'm not the one, I'm not in charge of Chelsea. I'm not in charge of what they do, so I'm just giving my opinion. But speaking on a few other players today, Reece James, another great performance once again, man. You're talking about a guy that physically just doesn't allow anybody by him, doesn't let anybody get in his head, and is able to bring the players in and just rally them. You see in the start of the second half where they're all rallying around the ball, getting in the minds of Aston Villa. Because at the end of the day, Aston Villa feel the pressure of trying to stay in the top four. That's something that they need to obtain. Otherwise, they need to go win the Europa League to get Champions League for next season. They can't afford not to be in the Champions League for next season. So this game was important for them. Morgan Rogers today, man. I will say this: Morgan Rogers has dipped off substantially since, I would say, even he got the contract extension to extend his contract, but we all know that doesn't mean that he's going to stay there long term. He's not a bad player, but he just looks off right now. He just doesn't look interested. He was basically invisible for the entirety of the game. His best moment was to pass out to Ollie Watkins, and even then, like, he wasn't involved. He wasn't trying to get involved. He kept losing the ball, and then he would get touched. He would go to the ground. He would lose the ball in careless areas. So he hasn't been good. Aston Villa just haven't been good. They're missing John McGinn. They're missing Tielemans, and that's something that I feel like people need to understand is that Aston Villa, when they were in form, when they were winning games, picking up results, John McGinn was in that midfield, bossing the midfield. And that's something that I think people don't really pay attention to when it comes to Aston Villa. But getting back to Chelsea here, man, the midfield today, Enzo Fernandez, Moises Caicedo. Moises Caicedo played a very safe game today. He wasn't throwing himself in the challenges. I don't even really remember if he made a challenge today, right? He played very, very safe. And maybe it was because Aston Villa in general were just poor, but he didn't make a challenge today. He was just a cool sheriff, just making sure everything was good in midfield. He wasn't really tripping. He was just doing what he does, not making. But in the bigger games where teams are really going at you, I feel like he's gonna have to be more assertive in that midfield, which he's shown in that he's done. So I'm not worried about him turning it up a notch. Enzo Fernandez, Good performance today. People were giving him some slack during the week about how he can't pass or whatever, or I find that to be ridiculous, bro. Got the assist for the second goal, had a good game in midfield. He's a type of player that plays at his own pace, and people want him to be the guy that scores 20, 25 goals in a season. I've even said if he wants to be a superstar midfielder, that's what he's got to do. But at the end of the day, he's a superstar in other areas, man. He's an elite passer. He's a box to box midfielder, and he put in a shift today. And I feel like people need to start looking at that rather than, how many goals is he scoring, because he has a good goal tally as a box to box midfielder right now. So, and he played in the attacking midfield position today, and got an assist, got involved with Caicedo, Reece James in midfield. So everybody played well for the most part. Jorgensen got me a little irritated. Wesley Fofana, I will say, in the first half, bro, you're fortunate that Ollie Watkins didn't put that ball in the back of the net. Otherwise, you're looking like an absolute fool for throwing yourself to the ground, man. So overall, good performance. Joao Pedro Hattrick, man. One of the coldest celebrations in the league right now, bro. I'm telling you this now. It's probably my favorite of the season. It's such a cold celebration, dude. But I'm gonna go ahead and pop over to this Premier League table real quick. So with after all the results that happened, um, actually, let me go ahead and go into these matches real quick because a lot of stuff has actually happened um, during this time. So obviously, Wolves beat Liverpool yesterday 2-1. Arsenal go to Brighton, beat them 1-0. West Ham beat Fulham at Craven Cottage. What a result that is, by the way, given what tomorrow's game means for Tottenham. And then Man City versus Forest, 2-2 draw at the Etihad. So now Man City are 7 points behind Arsenal with about 8 games left to play. Oh man, we're looking at a pretty tricky situation for Man City. Are they going to be able to catch Arsenal? I don't know, man. They can't drop any more points. Newcastle with 10 men beat Manchester United. Watched the end of that game. Ursula's goal. If you guys haven't seen that, go take a look at that goal, bro. It's one of the goals of the season. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. So, with all these results, Tottenham and Palace, London Derby, North versus South, we're looking to see if Tottenham are going to respond because now, if they don't win tomorrow, they're 1 point above the relegation zone. And it's something to pay attention to. People need to understand this. Tottenham have a real shot of going down this season, man. And the hat I'm wearing, I would love to see it, but it would just be a detriment to that football club. And Arsenal winning the league and Tottenham winning, and Tottenham going down, bro, they would never hear the end of it. I hate Arsenal just as much as Tottenham fans hate Arsenal, trust me, but it would just be comical, bro, if Tottenham go down and Arsenal win the league, bro. I mean, like, oh my God. So we're looking at the Premier League table here. Arsenal on 67, Man City on 60, Man United on 51, Aston Villa on 51, Chelsea on 48, Liverpool on 48, Brentford on 44, and Everton on 43 points. So you're looking at the top eight right now. The reason why I'm bringing up the top eight is because I believe as far down as Everton, these teams have a shot of getting into the Champions League for next season. I'm not saying Brentford and Everton will do it. I'm saying there's a shot given like the point total and given the form that we're seeing from a lot of these teams right now, right? You're looking at Chelsea's form, win, draw, loss, win, right? And then you're looking at Everton's form, win, loss, but then they won two on the bounce. They just won, right? And then you got Brentford, win, draw, loss, win, draw, right? With their next game being Wolves, and Wolves are beating top teams. They're getting results against good teams right now, so that's not going to be an easy game for Brentford at all. But you're looking at the table and you're looking at Chelsea specifically. They needed these 3 points. It was absolutely important. Like, there's no way around it. And now being 3 points behind Man United and Villa, the game against Newcastle next weekend is absolutely vital because they get that, and Man United, I don't know, Man United actually play Aston Villa next weekend. Holy shit. So beating Newcastle next week, and while those two teams beat up on each other, Chelsea have an opportunity here to jump one of these two teams. And with the way that Man United are playing and the way that Villa are playing, I would put my money on Man United probably beating Aston Villa next weekend, which would push us up to fourth if we can get the, or even third. That's not fourth, if we can get the result. But just looking at this table, man, it's like it's unbelievable that we're about three-quarters way through the season. I was thinking Chelsea would be a bit higher up in the table. It said they have dropped 19 points from winning positions in the Premier League. So could you imagine if they added these 19 points to Chelsea's total, or even half of that? Half of 19 is what, like 9.5? Yeah, like 9.5. So say like 10 points, right? They would be above Man United comfortably in third. But even then, you don't drop 19 points. They're tied with Arsenal at the top of the table. It's like you even get 12 of those points, you're tied with Man City. It's like this is why dropping these games against Leeds and Burnley and Bournemouth and losing to Villa at home and losing to Sunderland and Brighton and all these teams at home is just so bad, man. Like it's ridiculous. And like this is why getting your home form right is everything if you want to be in Europe for next season. But with that being said, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Chelsea pick up the 4-1 win. We turn our attention to Wrexham at the weekend, and then the big Champions League tie against PSG. We'll see what happens in that. But with that being said, check out my shorts, check out my other videos, like, comment, sub, share these videos with your friend. I love you all. Thanks for all the support lately. I'm out of here. Peace.